team in real estate. Um, Once we started the team, I decided just like David that I needed coaching, so I hired the Mike Ferry organization, and Mike was my coach for a while, and then a guy named Bill Pipes was my coach, and we built our team to about 20 agents, and eventually I started a mortgage company, and that mortgage company, fortunately, we built it to about 280 offices, about 3,000 originators. And at the time, we had sold our real estate company, built a new company with about 100 agents. So we ran that team of 100 and 3,000 originators until the crash. After that, I took some time off, started an orphanage in Nepal, spent a lot of time doing medical camps and things like that in Nepal, just trying to recenter myself. I worked for Carlyle Group. They're the nation's largest private equity group. I ran a flip fund for them as their COO, doing about 250 flips a month, in charge of acquisitions, dispositions, construction, the works. Um, then started doing some of my own funds. Started coaching for Tom back in 2016. My wife and I travel pretty much full time. In 18 and 19, I coached from 30 different countries. I'm currently a consultant for a couple funds, and I'm a broker in 8 or 9 states. And that's it. I'm a Tom Ferry mastery coach. I coach teams, and I coach all their international clients, or a large portion of them. Nice to meet you all.
Wow. That's a long, successful list that you've got there. So I get coached by Aaron every week. And right now we're dealing with this shifting market. And I thought maybe, Aaron, you can help some of these people. How are you coaching your clients? What are you telling them to do to get through this? Hey, Debbie, how to get through this shifting market?
Sure, guys. Listen, one of the things about a shifting market is that you need to know is that there's always going to be a shifting market. 6 and 12 months ago, when it turned into a massive seller's market where we were writing 30 offers to get one offer accepted, it was still a shifting market. And then early in COVID, a lot of agents, hit under their desk. There was a lot of turmoil. It was a shifting market. In 2019, when interest rates hit 5.5%, it was a shifting market. This is the norm. The only thing that's different is that you have to pivot. You have to do things a little bit differently during a shifting market. There's good news, and that is that you can do this, and 85%, 90% of agents won't. So I'm going to give you what I think you need to do in a shifting market, and I hope this helps. As you guys go into a shifting market, you're going to see a lot of turmoil, both with national news and with your buyers and sellers, wanting to stay on the fence or wanting to wait or not returning your calls and ghosting you. And what it comes down to is there's so much bad publicity going on out there that they're just unsure. And the only way to make your clients sure is with skills and knowledge. So the more you develop your skills and the more you develop your knowledge, the more successful you're going to be as the market shifts. Now, don't get me wrong, you have to pivot. What you did last year is not going to work this year. It's certainly not going to get you the same results, and it'll probably get you worse results. But as long as you're pivoting and doing the things that you need to do, as long as you're focusing on your skills every single day, and when I say that, I'll say it this way, David, how often do you think I role played and did script practice?
Every day.
Every day. So think about that team. When I had 3,000 employees, I was doing role playing script practice with my in-house team every single day. So was Bill Pipes. Bill worked for me for 5 years. He's another big coach in our ecosystem. If you're not practicing your skills, you're going to get beat by somebody who is. That needs to hit your mind and get set there. Secondly, I spend 30 minutes every day reading about the market. Now, think about this for a second. I'm a coach. I don't sell real estate anymore, even though I'm a broker in all these states. It's very, very common for me to be on a call with one of my 80 clients, including my international clients, and know more about their market than they do. That's a shame, right? If I know more about your market and I practice my skills more, guess who's going to win that contest every time? So as you develop those, skills, as you develop that knowledge, you're going to be able to talk to a seller using the data that like, hey, listen, I can see why, it seems like now may be a bad time to sell, but let's talk about where we are in the cycle. There's still a lack of inventory. There's still quite a few buyers out there. Yes, interest rates have come up, but we're still seeing more production than we saw in 2019 when interest rates hit 6%. So we have less inventory with more sales happening. So we know that it exists. So you need to be able to talk them with skills talk to them with knowledge and get them off their fence, or if it's best for them, get them to wait. That's the beautiful thing about skills and knowledge. If it's not the right time for somebody, you got to let go of your desire and tell them, hey, now's not the right time. My job is to be your real estate agent for life. I'm going to be here when the right time hits. I'm going to keep you up to date on exactly what's happening in the market. And when the right time, when you're ready, I'm going to be here for you. They'll appreciate that more, and you'll earn more clients for life that way than anything else. Any questions on skills and expertise, Dave? Any of the team?
No, and I just did that the other day. I had someone that wanted to put a condo on the market, and I told them the market sucks for condos right now. And if it was me, I would rent it out. And I said, if you can hold on and rent it out, and then that's the way I would go. And that's what they did. And that's the right way to go. So
And I know it may sound counterproductive, especially if we're struggling team, but there's an old saying, and that's the best way to receive is to give. So if you're giving that knowledge to them and you're doing it from a position of integrity, I promise you, you're going to get more referrals than you could ever imagine. And I'm going to give you a great example. I'm sure Dave's heard this story before. The number one referrer in my life was a listing I didn't get. I did a listing presentation. I didn't win. I followed up with like, hey, if you have any questions, any concerns, or any issues during this entire process, I'm here to answer questions for you. My goal is to be your agent for life, whether I represent you on this transaction or not. The agent that he hired turned out to be a complete nightmare. The seller literally called me every day for the next 3 months, but I ended up getting about 15 referrals from that seller. The agent that did his deal clearly didn't, but that type of giving always comes back tenfold. It's always going to pay dividends for you. So that's what I would say. Secondly, I think you really have to take ownership. If you're going to be successful in this market and you're not willing to take ownership of your success, then that's going to be a challenge for you. If each of you is taking ownership for the success of your business and not blaming the market or blaming the buyer or blaming the seller, and when I say take ownership, I mean not just wanting to succeed in this market, but like personal responsibility for succeeding, personal responsibility for your own success. That's going to take you once again to another level. So when you take those foundation and skills and that drive of ownership, of accepting responsibility when we make a mistake, accepting responsibility when we don't do it right, and learning and doing it right the next time, then you're going to be successful. Right? So skills, knowledge, ownership. If I was to give you another one, I would say lead gen. If you're going to be successful in this market, you still have to be focusing on lead generation, which means you have to be talking to everybody in your database, especially your A's, your VIPs, your B's, a minimum of 4 times per year. Look, this is what we get from a lot of my team members, a lot of my people all over the world. Coach, my database just bought. They're not going to buy from me. They're not going to buy or sell again. You're right. Maybe they're not, but they probably know somebody that is. And if you're not staying top of mind, they're not going to refer you. I have clients that have captured 16% of their database. That means if you have 100 people, which I guarantee you all of you do, that's 16 deals a year. Think about it. We know 10% buys or sells every year, plus the people they know they can refer. If you're good at your database, maybe you're capturing 5, but some people are great and capture 16. That should be bananas. The reality is that most of you probably have 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 friends on Facebook. You have 500 or 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. You probably like me, have 2,500 people in your phone, and then maybe 400 or 500 people in your CRM if you haven't synced everything. But between all of those people, you can be capturing a significant amount of business, even in the market that we're in today.
why don't you tell them what you make me do? It's the 55542 every day, and I've got a Excel spreadsheet where I just sit down and I make sure I do my phone calls, because Aaron's double checking whether I make my phone calls.
Well, you know what, Dave, that's perfect for me. And I'm going to explain that to you, because the next thing I was going to cover was accountability from my notes right here. But Tom Ferry we do a thing called an hour of power. And an hour of power does not take an hour. It's just an hour of power. Now, most of my clients have to do 2 or 3 hour powers a day. And what that is, what David just mentioned, is we call it a 5542. And I'm going to give you a real high level of this because it'll take too long to go super, super deep. That's 5 conversations with new prospects. That's a conversation with somebody that you've never talked to about real estate before, where you capture their information. So if you met them in a coffee shop and you talked about real estate, you need to ask for their name, their phone number, their email address, or you need to say, hey, let me send you my contact info. What's your number? And I'm going to send you I'm going to send you my contact info. You need to capture their info. It's 5 conversations with people you know. So those are that's your database. Those are the people that love you, guys. Those are the people that want to help you, but they forget sometimes. They know more than one real estate agent. And if you're not staying top of mind with them, dripping them an email now and then, and making sure that you're calling them quarterly, they're going to forget and not refer you. And then the 4 is for follow-up. Those are people you're currently working with. That's a lead that you're nurturing, or a buyer that you're showing property to, or a seller that you have a listing on, or anybody that's pending. And those follow-up calls, those generate raving fans for your database calls. And your database calls will refer their friends and family and people that they know are looking to buy or sell. Those generate new prospects. You can also go out to, Peyton Wine. That's one of my wife's favorites. She's on the call here. You can go to a different coffee shop. I have a client that goes to a different coffee shop every single day on their computer. It says, this girl kicks ass in real estate, and the ass is dollar signs, and her hat says, ask me. And she makes conversations every single day at a coffee shop. And I'm not saying you need to go do that, or I'm not saying you have to make conversations at Costco or wherever it's going to be. But if you're going to be successful in this business, you're going to have to make conversations, because it's impossible for you to have a contract and a commission without a consultation and a conversation. So conversation will equal a meeting or a consultation. A consultation will equal a contract, and a contract will equal commission. So without the conversation, the check will never come. So, and then the 2 is 2 videos a day. That may scare some of you guys, and I'll tell you how we do it with some of my team. If you're not shooting a lot of video right now, I ask you to shoot 2 videos a day and send them to your database. So you call somebody, you get their voicemail. Hey, you know what? I'm going to send you a quick text, and then you just shoot a quick video, sending them a text. That will get you used to being on camera. That will get you used to comfortable and get you used to not worrying about what people think of you. And then eventually we're going to create reels. We're going to create YouTube. We're going to create videos on your social media, which will become evergreen and last forever, and will also generate, income for you.
I told him last week what you had us do for your challenge, for your video challenge.
Think about that, guys. We know it's hard. We'll talk about the video challenge. I have 80 clients. I think 4 of them completed the video challenge. 4. Now they all tried. They all gave it a great effort, and they all got business. Every client I have that completed the challenge did at least 3 deals from it. So imagine that. I entered this challenge, I did it, and I created 3 deals that I wouldn't have had if I had not done the challenge. That's a no-brainer. That's the world's biggest no-brainer for all of you guys. Just ask Dave, what's the challenge? And you all do it together, and then you all generate business from it. Okay. The next thing for that, and we're going to use the 5542 as a great example, for me, is accountability. When Dave says I hold him accountable, I ask him, hey, send me a screenshot, send me a text every single day. If you guys will think this is crazy, and I'll show it to you because it's actually kind of funny, but I get a text every morning at 3 a.m. That's one of my clients telling me that he got up at 5 a.m. He's 2 hours ahead of me. So I get it at 3 a.m. I'm fine with it. I get multiple of those. Here's another one that I got at 4:31 this morning from another client. That's me saying, hey, you guys, I'm here to support you, but I need to hold you accountable. I don't care what time your day starts, but whatever time you tell me it's going to start, I'm going to hold you accountable to it. So if it's 6, if it's 8, if it's 9, it's accountability, right? Remember, the agent you were in the last 2 years is not the agent that you have to be in the coming 24 months. This market requires you to be more disciplined. It requires you to be gritty, and you have to have better rituals and better routines than you had in the past, and they have to be better than your competition. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on accountability? No? All right. Look at you guys. Here's my wife, David. All of my clients will tell you this. I am an eternal optimist, to the point where it pisses people off. You might have noticed my wife has a cast on her hand. When she broke her little hand, she refused to go to the doctor. About 2 weeks later, she went. They're like, well, now we're going to need surgery. What I told her is, I go, hey, it's great. This is good that we learned this now. Next time I tell you to go to the doctor and you go, it may save your life. Right? Yes, we didn't listen this time, but that's okay. Next time, maybe you will. this is what you haven't, you can look at this as a disadvantage or you can look at this as an opportunity. For me, it's an opportunity for you guys. You have an opportunity to evolve. You have an opportunity to serve. You have an opportunity to support. You truly have an opportunity to gain market share. You have an opportunity to go all in, right? You have an opportunity to attract people that want to be around you and like you and build your downline, right? And best of all, you have an opportunity to make a massive income. All you have to do is take these simple things and apply them.
Yeah,
Sounds difficult.
and when we have these downturns, you just keep on going. I understand sometimes it gets hard, but if you just keep on doing the disciplines, it seems to pay off no matter what. And it may be bleak, you may be keep on doing what you're doing and not seeing results, but I guarantee you somewhere down the road it's going to happen. And actually, look at Jeffrey. Jeffrey was probably the first person in the Bay Area to join EXP. And talk about tough. Tell us, Jeffrey, you started and nobody else was with EXP. And how'd you do that? You kept your head down and you kept on contacting people.
Well, I did see it, and I really felt comfortable with myself, and I was really looking for something, and I knew I could sell real estate. It didn't matter what brokerage I was with, but when I seen EXP, I literally seen it in 5 minutes, and I said, you know what? If I'm gonna fail,
Whoops.
We lost Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's up in the country because he's got a big spread now because he's one of the top
training you're
EXP
putting
people.
together,
Oh, there he is.
David is great. Oh yeah, thanks, David.
Jeffrey, we lost you the last 30 seconds there.
Oh, well, I appreciate you putting this together, David. But yes, it was just great. Um I just had vision about EXP that it's gonna work. And if it's gonna be, it's up to me.
And
And a lot of people laughed, a lot of people were like really tripping out why I joined this company at the time, because nobody heard of it. I was the first one in the MLS out here. My MLS board never heard of what EXP was, and I'm in I started in San Mateo County, so I knew I was the first agent to join because they weren't even in the MLS yet. So I joined it, and it paid off. I mean, I'm really excited, but now it's my job to help a whole bunch of people be successful in sales and also build an organization. So the work is just beginning.
And I think that's what Aaron has taught me too, is create that vision. We sit down, put together a business plan, and then hold to that vision of what it is you want out of your life. He pushes me harder to get more out of life and get more out of my business. And I'm very grateful for that. But same as Jeffrey, Jeffrey had a vision when he started. And if nobody has their vision put together, I would suggest, seeing if you can talk to Coach Aaron here, maybe signing up with Tom Ferry. Like I said, for me, it helps me so much every week. It's kind of like, the realtor life is we get distracted by many things, but I know I've got a phone call. I'm going to get my ass kicked every Tuesday if I don't stick to what I've agreed to do. And the stuff that I'm agreeing to do is what I want to do because that's my vision. And sometimes we let real estate get in the way of our vision of what we want in our life. Can you talk about that, Coach?
Sure, you guys. I mean, keep in mind that this is, everybody has their own beliefs on a vision board. And my wife and I, we do a vision board every year, and our vision board is not about money anymore. It was for years. It was about planes and boats and cars and homes in Cabo, and we achieved all that, right? And then eventually it came about travel and quality of life and our dog and being better with our kids in Nepal and our orphanage. And so your vision changes throughout life, and it doesn't matter what what's important to you, but all that matters is that you have a vision, that you know what your vision is, and it kind of creates your why, right? So one of the things that we do with these guys is Tony Robbins does a thing called the Dickens technique. And what I'll tell you guys to do, and I'll give you a really short version of it, is to think out 5 years and think about, where do I want to be in 5 years? Like, where do I want to be in my relationship or in my business, in my, what do I want to have in my bank account or in my health? And then we put that all on paper, and then we say, okay, where do we have to be in 3 years in order to get there in 5? And then where do we have to be in 1 year to get there in 3? And that 1 year sets the ground rules for what we need to do today. So I can take your 1 year and then go, here's how many conversations you need to have. Here's what your diet needs to look like. Here's what your exercise routine, or here's how you work on your relationships. And that vision, hopefully gets you there. And I have some crazy BHAG visions. I'll give you guys one. I have a goal to win a Pulitzer Prize in photography. I really love photography. As you can tell, there's a lot of camera stuff around here, and especially travel and things like that. But I know exactly what I have to do every day now in order to put myself in a position 5 years from now to where I'm shooting enough to where I can get those opportunities. Right. So that's part of my vision. Does that make sense? And I'm going to end it with this, because Jeffrey, I think you said it incredibly for me. And that is, who do you need to be to capture the opportunity you have available today? Who do you need to change to? Right? Because you got to change. There's got to be changing. If you don't change, it's like you're walking through the forest and you hit a tree and you just keep bumping your head in that tree. I need you guys to just pivot and be like, okay, I have to come over here. I have to become this person in order to reach my goals. And sometimes it's a small change and sometimes it's a big change. Whatever it is for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, team, any questions? You're all pretty quiet. I like it.
Anyone? Grace, Jeffrey, Nita, Justin? Justin's amazing with Airbnbs.
Justin, are you the Airbnb king?
He is.
No, that's not me. I have one, but I think he's referring to a different Justin.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Oh, good. No problem.
I was going to say, I coach another gal, Amanda, the traveling realtor, Amanda Williams. And she speaks at all the short-term rentals and all the Airbnbs. If you guys want to learn about Airbnbs and short-term, she's another EXP agent. She's a rock star in the ecosystem. Success just voted her one of the top 50 female influencers. So I would look her up and see what she's got. She can definitely help you with Airbnbs and
yeah, absolutely.
Short terms. Okay, team.
All right. Well, I really want to thank you, Coach, for coming on. This is really awesome. And then hopefully maybe we can have you back in the future. And then if anyone has any questions for him, just call me and we can get you hooked up with him.
And Dave, you're willing to, no problem sharing my contact info with everybody. I'm not taking on new clients, but I'm always capable of taking a call or texting with you guys and helping where I can. And if you decide you want to get into coaching, I'm happy to give you some direction. I'm not always going to push Tom Ferry. If you came to me and said, I really want to knock, my database out of the park, we may talk about something different. I'm always going to give you my honest opinion no matter what. And, and there's no benefit to me other than your success. So let me know. You're welcome to reach out anytime.
Cool.
Okay. Have a
All
good day,
right.
guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.